If you're using Canvas, there are a few things that you're going to want to think about as you look ahead to second semester. The most important is that we are in completely semesterized classes at the high school level now. And so what that means is that there truly aren't year-long classes anymore in actuality. In practice, we know that that's not true because we have many courses that run year-long. And while we may have some kids that switch at semester, it's still a cohesive year-long course. And in Canvas, it's not going to look that way. It's actually going to look like completely separate courses. So if you go into your course listing, you can see that your second semester classes are already sitting there. And if you click on them, they're completely inactive shells right now that are very empty and look much like your courses did at the start of the school year. There are a couple of different approaches that you can take with this. And the first is quite simply just to leave it as is and start over at semester. Some teachers have started to think about semesterized courses and are already thinking about how they can make their year-long courses look more like two separate semester courses to alleviate some of the headaches associated with that semester switch. If you decide to go that route, you don't need to do anything further. The courses are sitting there, empty, waiting for you to build in them, much like you did at the start of the year. In other instances, you may really feel like it's necessary to bring course content from first semester into your new second semester course, so that it truly represents a year-long course. This is definitely an easy option. So if you're going to do that, what I would have you do is start in your new, empty second semester course. And once you're in that course, you would go into the course settings. And from the right-hand menu, you would choose Import Content into this course. That will bring up this menu for you to choose from, and the first thing that it's going to ask you is, what content type would you like to import? And you're going to copy a Canvas course. It's going to then give you some additional options, and you're going to want to search for the course by name. And you're also going to want to make sure you check this box that says include completed courses, because your first semester will be a completed course. If you do this during first semester, before we have technically switched over, your first semester course won't be completed, so you wouldn't necessarily need to check that. So for the purposes of demonstration, I'm just going to search for a class that I know that I already have. This is where you would actually search for the course of the same name. I will select my course, and then the next option is to select all content or select specific content. At this point, it seems intuitive to select all content, but I actually think that you'll prefer to select specific content. And there's a couple of reasons for this, which I'll show you once we go ahead and move forward. Once I do that, it brings my current jobs for copying up in the list below, and it's going to give me a blue box that says Select Content. When I click that, it asks me which specific pieces of this course do I want to pull over. And here's why I asked you to use Select Content. There are many things that you're going to want students to be able to see, but you don't necessarily want them having old assignments and old quizzes and old discussion boards duplicated. In large part because they're not going to be completed assignments when you pull them over into a new course. They will actually be new assignments. This would be really confusing for parents and students if they were to open the course and see that there are 16 assignments sitting there that you actually already completed that are now saying that you need to do them again. So if I were to go into this, I would select that I want to keep my course settings. I would select my modules. I would leave out assignments and discussion topics because those typically have deadlines and due dates and are actionable for students, and we don't want them to have to resubmit assignments that they've already completed. Wiki pages would simply be your content pages, so any resources that you created for students. External tools would be apps that you added. Announcements, and then any files that you may have uploaded. That would include any images or pictures that you uploaded, Word documents, PowerPoints, and resources of that nature. So I would want to pull over all of those things. When I then select content, it's going to run that, and it can take a substantial amount of time if you actually have a lot of course content. or it can move really, really quickly if you have fairly little sitting in there. Once you've done that, now if you go into your modules in your new course, you should see that all of your content is sitting there in very similar order to what you had it in your previous course, with the exception of assignments and quizzes. If you have assignments and quizzes and discussions sitting in your first semester that you want students to be able to reference back to, students can at any point go in and see their concluded courses. They'll be able to click on links, they'll be able to look at assignments and discussion boards, but in a view-only model, they won't actually be able to interact with anything in that course anymore once it's concluded. But it is all sitting there for their reference. This is what I suggest for your year-long classes so that students still see everything that you had for them previously, but you don't have to worry about assignments and quizzes sitting out there in duplicate. If you have any questions about this process, don't hesitate to come see myself or Heather Kangas, and we'll be happy to help you get this sorted out.